way that news is presented to people. Like first, people find out their news through social media, as opposed to watching the news at 6. So how does that affect you?
Well, we've discovered that nobody watches the news alone without a phone. I mean, nobody just sits there and watches the news for 30 minutes. Our research shows that everybody that's watching the news has his phone or has her phone right next to them, and they're tweeting things out or sharing information. So I think like Twitter is like the best thing in the world, and then like the worst thing in the world. The worst thing is, all the hideous things that are said about people, especially in sports, about unpaid college athletes. The guys that are, they're not professionals, and yet they're destroyed on Twitter by, people with no courage and no couth. And I think that's just a terrible aspect of it. In fact, I heard Tom Izzo talking about it this morning. It's horrible. The good thing about Twitter is that so much information can be shared, and it can be done in a really, really quick fashion. I was always against it for a long time. I mean, Mike Bush and I would always say, nobody really wants to hear what we had for breakfast today. And that's, there's so many ridiculous tweets out there about that. But there is a lot of quick info you can get that can help you in your profession. And so I started doing it actually in August. And it became, I have competition issues. So it became kind of a competition in Channel 5 who could get the most Twitter followers in a short period of time.
Who has the most Twitter followers?
I do. In fact, it was last week. See, Ann Ulrich came from Boston, and she had 7,000. So in August, I have 0. So now I just passed 9,000. And, Ann, it became so competitive with Ann is that I quit following her because I didn't want her to get me as a Twitter. So I passed her last week, and I said, Ann, when I pass you, you will never come close again because I'm going to fly past you like Secretariat. And she became bitter about it. And every time I walked by her, I said, Ann, I'm now ahead of you by 50. Now I'm ahead of you by 150. Now I'm ahead of you by 200. So I'm very petty about it, but it is a competition.